Okay, who are we talking about today? We're talking about Mark Sanchez, former NFL quarterback, current Fox football analyst, and you may remember him from being the perpetrator of the famous butt fumble.
You got a busted play here, and then Sanchez gets hit.
I've never seen this before in my life. Watch this. Vince Wilfork is going to throw Brandon Moore back into his quarterback. He's going to fumble the football. This is what Reggie...
And he is in some legal trouble. After seemingly spending a night out drinking or something else, he got into an altercation with somebody else. This is all alleged, right? And he had an altercation with another individual who was apparently a food delivery driver, so he was parked in a weird way where he was taking up multiple spots. Mark Sanchez didn't like this and tried to get into the delivery driver's car. I don't know the order of operations here, what happened first, but he tried to get into his car and eventually ended up being stabbed. And he is in the hospital here in Indianapolis right now, is recovering from those injuries he received after the altercation. He was stabbed. Yeah, we're just going to talk a bit about what happened, what we know so far. You know, I don't want to act like I know everything that's happened and that he's definitely guilty of this. However, he is in the hospital and is under arrest. So let's talk about what information we know. So we have a statement from the Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department. This is what they have to say. Battery with injury, unlawful entry of a motor vehicle, and public intoxication. These are the crimes that he's being charged for. It happened just after midnight on Saturday morning, so Friday night going into Saturday morning. And it was right near the Colts Stadium. So he was in town. I said he was an analyst, right? He was in town to do the play calling for the Indianapolis Colts today. Metropolitan Police Department doesn't release the names of the people involved in a situation like this. A little generic in the description, but it was obviously tied to Sanchez. The incident involved 2 adult males, resulting in one man receiving lacerations and the other sustaining injuries consistent with stab wounds. Detectives believe this was an isolated incident between the 2 men and not a random act of violence. If you don't know anything about Mark Sanchez, he played in the NFL for 10 seasons, and a lot of those years were with the Jets, and he retired from the NFL not too long ago, 2018. Here's a quote from the New York Jets that's still up. I'm guessing depending on how the litigation goes and whether the story holds up as it is. Sending our thoughts and love to Mark Sanchez and his family, hoping for a speedy recovery. You know, obviously he doesn't deserve to be stabbed regardless of what was said in the altercation, but if you reach into somebody's car in the middle of the night, you're asking for trouble, right, at that point. And we'll just have to see, right? I'm not saying that he did it or that's exactly what happened, but my understanding is that there was a video of the incident. I haven't seen any information about that being public at this time, but if there is a video, then there can be a lot more conclusions drawn once that comes out. Oh my goodness. So the victim might be 69 years old. This is coming from a Reddit post, so it might not be true, but if that is the case, that's really horrible. The second individual involved in the incident, so not Mark Sanchez, reportedly told police that he was making a food delivery when Sanchez told him to leave and that he couldn't park in the alley. The victim claimed Sanchez became aggressive and used pepper spray. I'm thinking in this sentence, the victim claimed Sanchez became aggressive and that the victim used pepper spray. So we'll have to, like this post points out, we haven't heard Mark's side of the story. So right here is Lucas Oil Stadium. That's where the Colts, and right over here where this pin is Low Miller's Pub and Eatery. And apparently right over here in one of these alleys is where it took place. But such an odd thing to get in a deadly fight over. Thank God they're both alive at this point. But definitely a stupid thing to fight over. And yeah, that's all the information I have as of right now. As someone who actually delivers food in Indianapolis, it's not good to hear a story of violence against somebody doing the same work that I do. But like I said, there's no conviction yet, right? He could be totally innocent. The story is not looking good for him. Just stay safe out there, and I'll see you next time.